All right, welcome back. So we're starting off with the governorship candidate of Plateau State in the APC, Nantawo Yilwata. He joins us virtually this morning. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on the program today. Well, as it is now, first and foremost, could you tell us, so what's going on with your campaign? Is everything going on smooth? Because yesterday, your counterparts told us that you've got no chance where they stand.
Chamberlain, good morning. And well, let me just say that the campaign has been going very well, and you could see reflected in most of the areas we've been to, and the acceptance we've gotten across the state, more distributed than any candidate in the state. So I don't think any of them stand my chance in the state.
How is it playing now for you? Because we know that, having seen the way the presidential elections turned out, of course you have people who would draw inference from that, thinking that that may just be the coloration, the way the governorship elections will pan out in Plateau State. And if that were to be the case, you may not necessarily clinch it. So how do you plan to overcome that?
If you look at the configuration of the election, from the Senate to the House of Reps to the presidential, they were quite different. Different candidates will win different elections in different local governments. If you take the average score of the election, or the all House of Rep election, for example, across the state, if it were a governorship election, APC would have won the election. You can just do the simple arithmetic and know that for governorship is about distribution across the state, and would have won it.
So as things stand now, because I mean, the preference, because people vote along different sentiments, and when they dissect those sentiments, sometimes even those watching from outside are a bit shocked and surprised that, wait a minute, are this kind of factors still playing a huge role in terms of how we vote in this country? And so the candidature of your party at the national level, you know, when that came through, the governor spoke about it, there were still several people who thought, not too sure how they will stick with that one. So concerning that and your ability to convince them that they should look to what you bring to the table, are you succeeding in doing that?
I've already been succeeded already. Not even say I'm succeeding. I think we're the first to get to the people with our manifesto. That was 2021 December. By then, none of the candidates has a manifesto. And we around all the local governments, visited 196 wards out of 207. And discussing our only town meetings and engaging the communities and different sectors of the economy. So I strongly believe that Plateau have heard us and heard us so clear. Moreover, most of our voters were among the young people who believe in us. And the younger generation, which went along with our slogan, Generation Next, are quite out of what we're doing. So in all our campaigns, in all our discussion, interaction with them, it has been perfect.
Okay, I will apologize for at least it appears to be coming in broken at some point, or may have missed out some of what you said. Let's talk a little bit about security. We know it's a huge deal in the Plateau and in the Middle Belt region. So what are your specific plans to ensure that the people actually feel safer than ever if you win?
First, we want to set up the Plateau State Security Trust Fund, and we'll take that bill to the House of Assembly as one of my first measures when elected. I will ensure that 1% of the state IGR is set, the 1% of the contracts at the local government and state level, 1% is taken into the trust fund. And state also contribute to that trust fund monthly by law, and all private sectors will also contribute to that trust fund. And with that fund, we will start by having equipment, both hardware and software, that will be sufficient enough for us to establish security in the state. Secondly, we will move vigilantes, hunters, retired police, retired soldiers. We'll bring them all under our security outfit in the state called Operation Rainbow. We'll train them, we'll deploy them to the rural communities, we'll arm them with technology, and also all firearms approved by law that can be given to the security outfit as community policing. We deploy to rural communities and also the cities also to ensure that we protect people at the borderlands, especially our border with Kaduna, our border with Bauchi, our border with Taraba, where all the attacks and also kidnapping takes place, and also the city centers. That will ensure that the states get more secure. We also amend the act that set up the State Solidarity Development Agency, because where you have solidarity support the state, similar with Zamfara, similar with Congo and different other countries, you have issues of security threats around those communities. We'll bring communities, to engage artisan miners, registration of artisan miners also, and they're forming cooperative and clearance before they're allowed to be involved in mining at the communities. That will ensure that the communities are safer for us also. And then moreover, in most people community attack and kill the rural community, they come with night vision devices and most sophisticated equipment. If we now allow us to protect the people with technology, protect them with the manpower, sufficient funding to ensure we tackle security at this level. These are some of the things we're bringing to the table concerning security in the state.
Well, I must say that, the audio was a bit glitchy while I was listening to you, but I did pick a few things from what you intend to do. It is interesting to note that your party is currently still in government in Plateau State, and perhaps it is hoping to, give you, pass on the baton to you. There will be questions as to what it is that the current state government that you intend to do differently, and whether or not this is a part of your party's agenda. If it is, why it is that the current government hasn't implemented some of the things that you're talking about. For instance, the issue of artisanal miners. Plateau State used to be known for its tin, and I know it's still blessed with quite a number of solid minerals which it could explore. I am just wondering, why is it that it's been difficult, for instance, to form artisanal miners into cooperative groups and maximize some of the opportunities that the federal government has provided for states that are blessed with solid minerals?
But that's what I just mentioned as part of the security architecture I want to even call, that all artisanal miners will be registered. They must form cooperative. They must be guided by the community and also the State Solidarity Development Agency. These are some of the things we want to do. But most importantly, the state government, has about 3 leases, 2 in YC local government, 1 in Bariganaji. We intend to sign joint venture agreement with international partners, or that we mine and we do profit sharing across, across board. That will enable the state to maximize benefit, and that will allow locals to also participate in mining at the state level.
Okay, well, what I'm saying, the question I'm asking you is, why is it that it's been difficult? Why does the APC, assuming that's part of a manifesto of the political party, the APC is currently in government in Plateau State. Why is it so difficult to organize the miners already? That's what I'm asking.
It's my own personal manifesto, because I'm coming as a candidate. So as a candidate, I must come with my own manifesto. Across years, the state has organized it. So if I'm coming in to do something different, what makes it so difficult? Because for over 20 years, it has not, the state government has not organized that sector very well to ensure we maximize benefit from it. But that's what I want to come and do when elected as the governor of the state.
Well, I know that Plateau also has quite a number of educational institutions, and your background is also in education as well as the digital space. And it will be interesting to see what it is that you intend to do about the educational institution, especially the tertiary educational institutions and the products. I mean, that's the people who graduate from these institutions. Because one of the things that we know that almost every state in Nigeria is struggling with is youth unemployment. How do you intend to link link, for instance, first of all, improve outcomes from what we get from institutions, and then link them with direct opportunities that are available in your state?
I think for me, the most important thing is even the secondary education, where you need to introduce skills, especially technical secondary school. We have only one technical secondary school. I intend to have 3 technical secondary school, 1% of children's zone. I intend to change the skill base. There are skills of the future. We need to introduce them in the scheme of the technical schools. That would be one major thing that we do to ensure that we have a lot of the young people develop skills that are marketable across the globe and make them global citizens, that can get job anywhere in the world. But for tertiary institutions especially, is to ensure that we upgrade the laboratories, workshops, and ensure that we have definite skill for them when it comes to technology, and then do skill transfer, and ensure that we bring also entrepreneurship into the schools, ensure that the entrepreneurship are actually skill-based and practical, and they can have hands-on experience. And before they leave the universities, they should be able to get jobs or create jobs themselves. So we ensure that we enable them with skills. But most importantly, part of our own manifesto said that we're setting aside 10% of the IGL for enterprise opportunities. So young people, especially youths and women, will have opportunity to access this fund, which is at no interest rate and without collateral. What you need to form cooperative. The cooperative will be cleared by a business clinic, and it's government enabled but private sector driven to ensure that these young people, whether they're in university or they've graduated, will have opportunity to have funding, to have training, to have skills, and to enable them also create jobs. So they become job creators themselves. That would be very important for me going forward as a government of the state.
Right. So concerning security, I mean, we hear this narrative almost all the time because many will also ask you, yes, you've spoken about the, 1% security fund. You intend to take a bill to the State Assembly to allow you to do that. But many will also ask you, why should they give 1% to security fund when governors have hundreds of millions in security votes?
That's why I said that part of the security trust, part of security fund from the state will be deployed to the security trust fund, and it's also managed outside of the governor. We will have the security agencies. We have also traditional rulers, representative, the security outfit in the state, and some notable people in the citizen in the state will be part of the trust fund, and we manage the trust fund independent of the government to make it more effective than having one person, which is the governor, only deploying a single money across the state.
Do you plan to run a transparent government?
Absolutely.
So would you tell the people how much security vote is?
With all pleasure.
Do you know how much it is right now?
I don't know.
But you're supposed to be a very close ally of the governor. You say you don't know. How is that?
Well, I'm not in government, so I shouldn't know.
Okay, but concerning...
And I'm not going to ask.
You're not going to ask?
And I'm not bothered to ask.
Oh, okay. So concerning how you emerged, I know all of those back and forth that went on within your party, several of them, the aspirants who said that you were foisted on them, they complained loudly, they spoke to the chairman about it, they said they're not sure if they're going to support you if certain things were not done. How are you able to placate all of them now?
No, most of them are already with me. And moreover that, I keep on saying, one person challenged my emergence in court, only one person out of the people that claim. And moreover, you had people saying that there are 18 people that went on protest. Out of those 18, only 9 people bought form. The remaining 9 were not people who didn't buy form, and they're claiming that they are gubernatorial aspirants. You can't be an aspirant without a form. And out of the 9 people, more than half are already with me, and we're already moving together. One of them defected to Labour Party and picked a form, and one of them took me to court. But the person that took me to court also, there's none of the ground in my primaries that he challenged. He challenged the election of the delegates, which are going to do with the primaries itself. And he has not done anything because he didn't actually participate in the process. And in all the process for selecting a delegate, there was no complaint by anybody because there was opportunity by the party for anybody who has any grudges to actually complain, but nobody let me complain.
So do your supporters, or should everyone then believe that you have sorted or you mended all the fences with all of these aspirants, and then those who kicked against you, are they all on the same page with you now? Is that what you're saying?
There's no party that you hardly can get where all the people that pass the election with you agree with you. It doesn't happen anywhere, hardly, and very rare in Nigeria. So I'm not saying I'm having all of them, but most of them are already with me or working together with them in partnership. And for now, I'm comfortable.
Yeah. I was going to ask if you think that you might be having an unfair advantage. I mean, you've had quite a very rich career from being a lecturer, working in the digital space, and also, interestingly, working in the electoral space. You've been a resident electoral commissioner. I'm just wondering, do you think that that confers on you any advantage, or do you think that that elevates the fact that you must uphold some of the ideals that should, uphold a transparent election?
Okay, I've conducted elections across the country, different elections, and there's no single election that I conducted that anybody complained about it. I was in Rivers for UK's election, second term. I was also in Ekiti. I was in Ondo. I was in Dino, I was in Benue itself. I was not even Anambra State election. I was in different election, and nobody has ever challenged my integrity when it comes to election. So it will not be different from what I'm going to do in this Saturday election. So I don't see myself having any advantage, personally, in terms of maybe opportunities to either take advantage of the electoral process.
Are you satisfied, and are you confident? I mean, there have been lots of complaints about what has happened in the presidential elections. Given that, how confident are you that this Saturday, if things go as planned, that the electoral umpire would live up to its billing?
I'm very hopeful, and I'm very confident that the process will be transparent. The process is offline. The elections, the BVAS works offline, doesn't work online. So the process that actually, that's the conducting of the election itself, and voting is offline. The entry of the results is offline. You only snap a picture by BVAS and transmit it. So I'm very confident that my own agents will be at the polling units. I will ensure that the process is transparent at the polling unit. And that's all you need.
All right, even though there are several other narratives, which I'm sure you must have heard, is something that since you were in INEC, just left in 2021, that they just hope and wonder that they will not be doing something other than what is expected of them. But we do thank you for...
Chamberlain.
Why should they fear not? You were in INEC, you know the ins and outs. How do we know that your colleagues there, your former colleagues, won't try to ensure that they have safe landing?
They are professionals.
Okay. All right, we do thank you for coming in, and we wish you all the best.
Well, thank you, Chamberlain.